Hi everyone, and welcome to hopefully the start of a new series of videos where I show you guys parts of my stationery collection. This was suggested by my best friend Nasim, who knows about my extensive stationery collection mostly because she is the one who has supplied me with a lot of it, but I have way too many things to show you guys, so I thought I would break it up into categories, sort of. So today we're starting with my brush pen collection. If you didn't know, I am a little big on hand lettering. I love hand lettering, so I'm going to show you guys all of the brush pens that I own and use and give you my general thoughts on them. So the first set here is my Pentel Fude Touch collection. I have a bunch of colors because for a really long time the Pentel Fude Touch, or the Pentel Sign pen, as it's also called, it just was my bread and butter. It was the first brush tip pen that I really learned to love calligraphy and hand lettering with, and I think it works really well for my handwriting and the general size that I like to use. I've been using it a little less lately, for various reasons. Just wanted to branch out and try new things. And I feel like the color selection is a little hit or miss. There are a couple of colors in my collection that I have that I love, like the gray and the green. But with the brighter colors like the red and the orange and the blue, I'm not really a huge fan of. So generally I reach for these when I want those specific colors like gray and green. But I've been straying away from these mostly because I have used Fude Touches for way too long, and I've been gravitating towards bigger nib brush pens. The next group of brush pens is my little Marvy Le Pen Flex collection that I've created recently. One of the local, office supply stores sells these, and I just go crazy. Like if I have to go get packing supplies or office supplies, I always pick myself up a brush pen as a little treat. I've really been liking these Marvy Le Pen Flexes. They have a very small tip, but that tip is very flexible, as you can see. So I feel like you get a lot of varyingness with the tip of these pens. And I quite like the colors that they come in. I like the brown shade especially. The next pens are going to be my tombow fudenosukes. I used to have a bunch of different tombow fudenosukes. I had the set that had the hard tip and the soft tip, but I found that the soft tip was essentially just the Fude Touch with more opaque ink, I guess. So I actually ran out of that one and I haven't replaced it, and I've just kept the hard tip because I like that the hard tip is a little different from the Fude Touch tip. And then I just have a regular tip, the softer tip, in gray. I really like this gray as well. This is why I have grays in multiple different brush pens, because all of the grays are different. Okay, this next brush pen is the Rushon Petite. I don't know what the brand is exactly, but that's what it's called on the barrel of the pen. These are really big nib brush pens, as you can see. But I really like the variation you can get and how sort of rounded it looks with my hand lettering. The light gray color is a little more disappointing than the dark gray color, but what can you do? I still use it every now and then anyway. So the next brush pens are my Sailor Shikiori dual tip brush pens. These are pretty much my favorite, both the fine tip and the brush tip. I use them all the time. I love the colors so much. So Sailor Shikiori is a fountain pen company. They do fountain pen inks that are super popular in the fountain pen community, but what they did for these brush pens is they took some of those popular inks and put them into brush pens. And so I picked up a few of the colors that I really liked. I've used them many times in my journal spreads. I love the colors so much. Even this sort of bright orange, I thought I wouldn't like it at first, but I picked it up just to give it a try. Orange is my favorite color, and I think this is like the closest to my favorite shade of orange that I've seen in a brush pen, so bonus points for that. I generally really like the brush pen tips for these. I haven't seen much fraying, and generally they're pretty smooth. And yeah, there's just a lot of really good variation, and oh yeah, so I accidentally picked up the purple before the blue. My only issue with these pens is that sometimes it's hard to tell apart the colors when they're all together, just from the tips of the caps alone. So I will like want to be reaching for the purple, but I'll grab the blue and vice versa. Or like the plum and the brown I will mix up as well. But other than that, I love these pens. As you can see, my handwriting is extra good with these brush pens. My next brush pens are probably my least used brush pens. These are the famous Tombow dual brush pens. I will leave as many of the names and numbers of the colors that I can below. For some of the Japanese pens, they're in Japanese, so I can't translate that. But for the Tombow dual brush pens, I'll leave the codes for the colors down below. Like I said, these are my least used. They are my biggest brush pen nibs, and I have probably the least amount of control with them. As you can see, my hand lettering gets a little shaky and less consistent with these pens, so I will generally use them not for hand lettering, but instead like filling in large swaths of area. So this light gray brush pen is one I use all the time for making line variances in like my reading journal, for example. I've actually replaced this pen 3 or 4 times because I use it so much. So yeah, the light gray I love, I use all the time, but the other ones not so much, and then almost never for hand lettering. And then I learned that this light brown that I've literally never used before, I think I swatched it once, it's dry. So I ended up having to scrap this, which is sad because it was once upon a time a really nice color, but now it's dry and I have to replace it. Okay. And then the last, I guess, page of swatches are gonna be like the rest of my brush pens that I don't have many of, I guess. So I only have one Stabilo Pen 68 brush pen. This has been my favorite brush pen as of late. The tip size is just right. I have no problems with the tip fraying or anything, and it just feels really good in the hand when I'm hand lettering, so I love using it. I've used it so much recently. And then my last brush pen is a Zig letter pen cocoiro with a like flex nib. It was the only one that was available when I bought the body for this, and I've had it for a really long time and I use it every now and then, but I have legitimately not figured out how to really use this nib. I'm not sure if it's actually for hand lettering or if it's more for like art or something, but I just haven't figured out how to use it, at least for my purposes. But yeah, that is a rundown of all of the brush pens that I own and how I feel about them. When they're all together in that stack, it's absolutely chaotic. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a good rest of your day and a good rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. Bye!